The Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, the gift that just keeps on giving. Well, for me anyway. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the possible changes that will come to the Galactic Star Cruiser. You have to remember, they took a tax credit and claimed failure on this hotel, so they cannot reopen it the exact same way it was running before. They have to change it. They have to wait about a year or so and give us something completely different. So I'm gonna break those down, even the Marvel rumor that I heard from the people working inside. But I will just say this, we'll start with the one that I believe is going to happen. I think they're gonna break this down into a 4-hour experience. You buy a ticket to the theme park at Disney Hollywood Studios, you wanna do an add-on, like maybe a dinner theater show or something like that, you buy a separate ticket. They then pick you up at Galaxy's Edge in that box truck, send you out to the Star Cruiser where you'll have a meal, maybe meet Rey and Kylo Ren, they'll do their little sword fight dance, and then you can listen to Gaia sing while you enjoy a meal.
Something new is in the air.
And then you get back in the bus and they send you back. But what about all those wonderful rooms? You know, those war bunkers that they have in there for people to stay in? Yeah, they're gonna open that up as a regular hotel. It'll be a lot less expensive and you won't be locked in for 2 days. You can basically leave whenever you want. They'll have meals provided and you get a shuttle to the theme parks. That's what they'll probably do to occupy that space. That's what I personally think is going to happen to this hotel. I also want to address this. I do know that Doomcock made a video on the Galactic Star Cruiser because many people have emailed it to me wanting to know my thoughts. In that video, Doomcock claims that his sources told him that the Galactic Star Cruiser will be turned into a giant laser tag game with Star Wars being the feature. So let me just say this. There used to be an experience at Disney Springs called The Void with a game called Star Wars Secrets of the Empire. It was a virtual reality game where you put on a helmet, you walk through this maze and you become stormtroopers. You were spies that ended up different places and you fought other stormtroopers, you fought Darth Vader, and the Void was supposed to be a huge part of the Galactic Star Cruiser. They were supposed to have some kind of VR laser tag experience in the Star Cruiser. So I do know that that was supposed to happen. Will they come back and completely rip it all apart and change it into that for an experience like that? I don't know, but time will tell. So now the big question, how will the Galactic Star Cruiser change into something Marvel? Doesn't Universal have a contract saying that they have the rights to Marvel characters, not Disney, here in the state of Florida? Technically, yes. They do have the rights to many of the Marvel characters, but not all of the Marvel characters. As you know, in the Epcot theme park here in Orlando, they opened up a new ride called Cosmic Rewind, which features the Guardians of the Galaxy. But yes, as long as Universal keeps their Marvel's Land and Islands of Adventure, we will never get an Avengers campus here in the Orlando theme parks. But this is what I was told what could possibly happen, and I don't think it's a great idea at all. If they go this route, I think it'll just set them up for failure just like before. They would change the Galactic Star Cruiser into the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yep, that's right. You heard me correctly. All right, let me break this down on how this will work. First, switching the Star Cruiser over to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would not cost that much. It would be actually rather simple. They could come in and say, this is one of the aircrafts, maybe pick one from the Avengers film and say, hey, you're honorary agents. You can stay here. Let's get to work, where you have different challenges and things like that. It's basically switching over some of the symbolism and stuff, and it would be cost effective and easy to do. Having that as the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you now have opened yourself up to Marvel. All the characters that you have rights to use can now be featured or walk in or do whatever you need to do from time to time. Remember, on the Galactic Star Cruiser, Disney invented a bunch of new Star Wars characters that no one's ever heard of and put them there. Who's to say they wouldn't do the same thing to dump them in a Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. hotel resort or whatever you want to call it? Such of the little things that they have in there, like remember the Force rock moving? They could easily say, hey, we're looking for someone that can move things with their mind. Let's see if you can do that. Very easy switch over. You're switching over the space, just taking out the TIE fighters and putting in other crafts. It's very, very simple. Now, how would that work with Galaxy's Edge? Now, if you remember, if you stayed on the Star Cruiser, they gave you a data pad, which was basically an iPhone. And when you went to Galaxy's Edge, you went to different places that were on the wall there at Galaxy's Edge, and you scanned the barcode and you did activities that were just limited to the cell phone. Disney has an app called Disney Play, which if you install that, you can go to different parks and play games while you're in line. There is no reason why that they couldn't drop you off at Galaxy's Edge and tell you, hey, listen, we're dropping you off at Disney's Hollywood Studios. There are some things to do around the park. So instead of limiting the people to just do activities at Galaxy's Edge, you can now open up the entire theme park and maybe have a couple or two people dressed as an agent where they can meet and do their own adventures. And what that would do for Galaxy's Edge here in Orlando, it would open it up where they could release all the Star Wars characters to walk around for people to meet. They are already doing that on the Disneyland side, and they won't do it here on the Orlando side because they wanted those people that paid that $6,000 to experience the immersion of staying at the Star Cruiser. One of the many reasons why this failed. So the Marvels may bomb in the box office, but maybe the Marvels will save this Star Cruiser if they switch it over to Marvel. Do I personally think that this will happen? No, I think it's outrageous, and I think they will set themselves up to fail. But who knows? Maybe they change it, and maybe they knock the price way down to several $100s to stay there, and that might pique a lot more interest. But in all honesty, for me, the only thing that would salvage or save anything that they do at the Galactic Star Cruiser comes down to cost. You cannot charge people that amount of money and expect people to come back over and over again. You really have to look at your audience. You have to look at the times. You have to look at how much people are willing to spend to experience something that you are creating. Me personally, if you take the cost and you slice it in half and then maybe slice it in half again, and you decide to put Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Darth Vader, maybe a trench run, a Death Star experience. Heck, man, even if you wanted to do something with the prequels, you might have something there. You might. But it has to be done right. It's got to be done well. And you have to understand your audience, your Star Wars audience, if you keep it Star Wars, and know who are the ones that are actually spending money on the Star Wars that they love. Make sure you understand your audience no matter what you do. This possibly is my final Galactic Star Cruiser video, and I want to say it's been an incredible run. So no matter what you do, Disney, do it like you did before, because man, I could sure use the views and subscribers. Anyway, all jokes aside, what do you think they need to do to salvage this gigantic failure that they have on their hands? This is Jay. We'll catch you next time.